Yo guys, it's Rigo with Grizz Media, and today for the very first video of 2021, we're gonna start off with something pretty cliche, and I'm gonna be telling you guys my camera gear for 2021. So I know that I've been doing a lot of film videos, and I've actually had a couple of questions from you guys asking me what camera do I use, what editing software do I use, what's my laptop, what computer do I use, what light am I using, what microphone am I using right now. And today we're going to be covering all that. So let's go ahead and get started with the first thing, and that is my lenses. So the first lens we got here is the 16mm f1.4 from Sigma. This is an amazing lens for the value and the price. At $300, you're getting a very good 16mm lens with a wide focal range, and you're getting a lot of low light capabilities with the f1.4. One also thing that I really like about this lens is that it has really good autofocus. It can get a little bit crazy sometimes, but all in all, for my, if what you guys have seen from all the vlogs that I've done, this is the lens that I've been using, and it's a great vlogging lens, and it does really good B-roll shots too, if you're into wide shot B-roll. My second lens that I own is actually a very interesting lens, which I'm going to go into a deeper dive in a future video, but for now we're just going to call this my 37mm macro lens. And so this little lens right here is actually really small because it actually has an extension to it. It has so it has an extension, which means that I can mount it to my Sony camera. This is actually a really old lens. It was actually used back in like the 1900s. It's a vintage lens, so it doesn't have autofocus. It's pure manual focus, and one great thing about this lens itself is that it can do really good macro shots, and that f1.7 gives it such a nice blurry background. Not to mention that the optical effect of this lens allows it to kind of have like a dreamy look to it, and I really think it's cool for creative shots, and I might implement it in the future when I go and do some more better shots. The third lens that I have is my nifty 50, my Sony 50mm f1.8. I cannot tell you guys how many times I have used this lens for so much of my B-roll, so much of my photos. This is, if it wasn't for the lens that's coming up, this would be my #1 lens that I would recommend to anybody. Everybody needs a nifty 50, and this definitely holds up as my favorite lens in my kit, as one of my favorite lenses in my kit. And I just love everything about it. It has such great bokeh, it has such great autofocus, the B-roll just looks so beautiful. You guys have seen in so many of my videos all the cool B-roll shots it is done with this lens, and I can honestly say that a lot of the success of the channel comes from this lens itself. Last lens, I cannot show you guys what it is, but it's actually the lens I'm recording on right now, which is the Sigma 18-35 f1.8. This lens has been a dream lens of mine for such a long time, and I'm so happy that I finally have it in my kit, and I use it pretty much as my go-to studio lens right here. And I actually want to use it more for photography, and maybe I'll bring it out in the field when I do more film like cinematic professional stuff, because this lens is really good for the money, and I'll go through an in-depth dive of what this lens is really capable of in future videos. That goes for all these lenses. I will be doing separate in-depth reviews of every lens that I own. So we're gonna go ahead and get on to the camera now. Now I can't show you the camera because of course I'm recording on it, but the camera I'm using is the Sony A6600. Now this camera has everything you could possibly need in a camera. It has autofocus, it has 4K, it has 120p, it has S-Log, S-Log 2, S-Log 3, all the things you could ever want in a camera. It has it, and it takes really good pictures. Last lens is my one and only kit lens. The first lens that I ever used on any camera is the 16-55 f3.5 to 5.6. Now this lens is pretty good for the money. You get it with the camera, and it's a really good lens to start you off right off the bat. It doesn't have the best autofocus, it doesn't have the best blurry background, it doesn't have the best bokeh, anything like that, but it does get the job done. And when you're starting out, that's all you need in a lens, and it's very reliable. So I still keep it just in case I ever need to go back to this lens. So we went over my camera stuff, all my lenses and all that stuff, and now we're gonna get on to the more essential stuff, and that is my lighting. So for my lighting, I'm using an RGB light that I got from Amazon. It's like $60, but it does a really cool feature where you can use RGB. Not only that, but it also has a really nice soft lighting. You guys can see I'm actually using it right now for my lighting, and it has this nice little like ember type look, which I'm going for right now. You can see that why the light is moving up and down and out of the way. It's because the light is actually in fire mode, so that's why you'll see it's moving around a little bit. The next thing we're going to go over is my microphone. And my microphone, I've been using it for a while, but it's the Zoom H1N. And this is a pretty good budget microphone. If you're on the budget for a microphone, I really recommend you guys get this microphone. As you can see, I sound really good right now, and that is partly because of this microphone, and also because of some editing adjustments I do in post. Maybe I'll get into another video, let me know, and I'll do that. So for my last item, I'm actually using my the Samsung 500GB SSD drive. Now this is really good because it allows me to actually edit right off of the flash drive itself, so I don't have to corrupt and make my computer just die all of a sudden. So it's really good for that, and it transfers and writes really fast, so I can actually export and be able to make my workflow so much seamless. And I do recommend you guys check this out and even get the 2TB version if you can. It's actually really much worth it, and I would have gotten it too, but you know, we out here, we're struggling. God help us all. Last thing I forgot to mention was this light right here, this purple light right here. You know, it's got a pretty cool look to it. It's like a little $20 light I got from Amazon just to like help with like, you know, lighting my lenses, you know, can give it a cool lighting effect, you know, if you guys are into that. My laptop, what I use to edit my videos, and what software I use. So I'm using the Surface Book 2, and I've had this computer for about 3 to 4 years now, since I began senior year in high school. Now I'm a junior, so it's been quite a while that I've been using this laptop exclusively for YouTube. A lot of editing has gone into this laptop, a lot of files, a lot of exporting has been done on this laptop, and it's a real beast. I would not recommend it for video making. It was mostly for school, but you know, I've used what I can to make it work. So if I was really going to recommend you guys a laptop, I would probably recommend something like Razer, something a little bit more towards that editing side of YouTubing. But it's pretty good for what I've been doing, and I've been able to make videos from it, so I guess it's good. So the final thing I'm going to be talking about is what editing software I use. Now this is the biggest question I've ever gotten in this whole channel so far. What editing software am I using to make all these videos? And that's actually a free program that you guys can download right now, and it's called DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve was originally a color grading program, and it's recently been amplified to be able to be used for editing and color grading at the same time. Color grading and editing are very advanced topics, and I will be going in depth and more into them later on, but for now I use DaVinci Resolve 17. And if you guys are in the market for a new editing software, something that you can use for a very long time, I do recommend using DaVinci Resolve. They're always updating it, and they're always coming out with new features, and that's probably the #1 reason why I get it, because not only is it free, but it also has a lot of great updates, and it's actually a really good software. So if you can, I highly recommend that you get it. But guys, that is about it for all the gear that I use in 2021. This has been quite an interesting video for me to make. It's the first video in our journey. You guys can see I changed the logo. I'm not the Cuban Bear anymore. It's Grizz Media, and we'll be coming out with way more videos like this in the future. So if you like that, be sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications. I'll see you on the next video. Rico from Grizz Media signing off. Peace out, guys.